Blockchain, coming at you with another Bitcoin technical analysis update. For those of you who are new to my channel, I am a full-time professional trader inside the New Wave Traders exclusive Discord. We are starting off on my website here. Make sure you guys jump over there and actually get my #1 trading strategy that is completely free. Get this little get in touch, and I'll actually send you a video demonstration of how to set it up and walk you through how to use it. And of course, here's how you get access to the Discord. And there's actually over 1,000 full-time traders in there. So make sure you guys jump in there if you want to submerge yourself with a bunch of talent. Speaking of that, I just want to highlight real quick, Lucy Games has just been killing his trades recently at 500%, 600%, another 436. We had Brownie doing it with his first 100% win in there at 166% up. Just absolutely killing the trades in there. So just wanted to give them a quick shout out. So great job, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the charts, and let's just go over some of the thoughts where we're at the moment, and see where we can potentially go. So there's a couple things I do want to point out in this where we're at the moment. So for those of you who've been following my full-time count, I'm looking at this overall as a fourth wave corrective move for another fifth leg up that will get us ideally in the ballpark of 75K for Bitcoin here. So this consolidation here is all healthy. It's all, a pretty good structure. It's a corrective structure, so it's not the easiest to, I guess, jump in and out of. So that's not what you're looking for, but we're starting off here on the daily. This blue and this yellow here, these are the weekly pivots. So you can see that we are just kind of ranging inside the weekly pivots at the moment. A break of one of these, so we've got 26.6 on the downside, and 42.1 on the upside. So it's a decent range that we could be dancing around with. But a break of one of those with a confirmation, not just like a wick, but a confirmation with a solid close above it, should give us a little bit more indication of which way we're going to go. Now we can still, definitely have some more downside, and honestly, we can go down to, into 24K-ish, in that ballpark and still be healthy, in my opinion, for a fourth wave. So this is the daily. You can see that we are just sitting right up on top of the mid-weekly pivot of an R2 and just right above the daily pivot. So at 31 is the daily, and then we have 32.5 as the weekly. So we're establishing that as support with the break of this descending trend line that we had here as well. So that's looks like we want to go up. Looks like BITT wants to climb up a little bit higher here. Now, what we want to pay attention to here on the daily is the time. So we still have some time to go for a structure before we break out, in my opinion, to consolidate. But it looks like to me as this is going to be our ABC. Look to have a potential another three-wave structure going up, and then another C down, which would overall, create something. Let me change the color here. Basically something like this. So we'll come up and we can tag the daily R1 at 40,000, or even the weekly again at 42.3, but ultimately come back down. And what we also want to pay attention to is we did bounce off of the bearish control zone here on the RSI on the daily, coming up, and we are testing the bullish control zone again on the daily as well. So if we do get back above it, I would look for continuation to get up towards this R1 of 39 to the 42K within that range for continuation up before we, I would ultimately expect to come back and correct back down and potentially retest this weekly it would be the R2 at 32 before blasting off again. So I think we still have potential to the upside here before we do consolidate, especially with a break of the descending trend line here. So let's take a quick look at the smaller time frame. Let's go into the 4 hour here. All right, so 4 hour, you can see that, really that we are back above the bullish control zone on the 4 hour, which is pretty healthy. We did bounce off of the hourly pivot here at 33.8 as well. So Again, we want to take it level by level, so I would expect next stop at 37.3. So we're at 35.8 at the moment, so 37.3, and then look at 39.6, and then ultimately we have the hourly R3 right up here with the weekly at 42. So let me go ahead and throw a couple price tags on this guy. So with this coming down, and this is actually, and really it would be a WXY. Actually, I don't know, it'd probably be this guy here for an A, B, and then the C with the C down. And what we also want to be aware of too is this guy right here. So this to me looks like we did have a three-wave up. We'll have to dive into the smaller time frame because it's possible that where we just have this as another ABC, another ABC flat here in the middle. Like so, which would basically turn this whole thing into a little bit more of a complex correction. For the WXY there. So something like that. But all in all, I think, you know, we could still turn into a larger, once it's all said and done, a larger flat for a larger ABC here. And again, basically do something like this. And let's just change the color, so I'll try and make it stand out. Sorry guys, a lot of lines on here, I know. There we go. All right. So with this, you know, other move coming up, I see this as three waves. Same with this guy right here. I see it as three wave coming down, three wave, and then a C coming up. So we could possibly be dealing with another three wave structure going up that would make this basically a B wave, and do something like that, and then have this as an A, B, and then a C on the larger scale going back up. Like that. So it's important to stay aware of the higher time frames as well as the smaller. And actually, let me just change the color of this one here. Change this one back to green. All right, so three wave up, another three wave here on the side, and then with another C going up. So I would look, honestly, for it to come up and get back above the bullish control zone here for this B wave coming up, basically an ABC right here. And then let's go ahead and pull some fib extensions on this guy. All right, trying to snug it up. So you can see that that R2, or I'm sorry, that R1, come on. Put about right there. So you can see that R1 puts us roughly right about the 1.618, which is going to be a little bit of an expanded C wave. But basically have this as a three-way move. A, this is the B, and this is the C. And for another three wave up to that 37, and then that'll get us above the bullish control zone here, move back down to 33.8, and that ballpark would establish as support, and then for us to take off again. And that's what we'll want to pay attention for, is this B wave up overall to 42, so that way it doesn't psych a lot of, I mean, I know Bitcoin is not known to psych a lot of people out on its moves. So if we are moving up, in my opinion, this whole thing still looks pretty corrective to me. It didn't jump up impulsively, so that's where I'm a little hesitant to be super, super bullish on this. So that's what I want to pay attention to, is the overall corrective move up. and not necessarily get super bullish, but just beware of that 42.6 mark for basically a double top to come back down, establish the 32 again as support, and then blast off from there. So still looking for some, I guess, consolidation here, but I am looking for a play, within this ballpark to come up, establish that as resistance, and then support again to bounce off of to get that C wave up, and that's going to be the longer term play with it to ultimately ride back down. So that's the one I'm going to be looking for here on Bitcoin. So let's take a quick look at ETH. I know we're already 10 minutes in, so I'll do this pretty quick. I'll probably just do Bitcoin and ETH today, guys. All right, so we go ahead and get these tags off. That's what we were looking for before. Come up for a test and a rejection on it. So you can see actually where we are currently are, this ascending triangle potentially possibly ending diagonal. Not a big fan of it, but if it is, basically that would be our 4. This would be our 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I don't like that at all. And this little move in here is throwing it off for me for it to be an ending diagonal, but definitely an ascending wedge here. So I think overall, I think it's a WXY within here. I don't see it necessarily as an ABCDE. Let me go back to the daily here. Yeah, so even the daily doesn't exactly match the movements on the RSI. So what we like to see on triangles is for it to actually match the RSI, and we're not quite seeing that on this guy. So let me go back to even the 16 and the 8 hour, seeing quite a big jump actually on this RSI here. So if it was 1, looking at the RSI, we'd basically have to label it an A, B, C, D, and then E, like so, meaning that this is the start of something if that's the case. So to translate it over, it'd be an A, B, C, D, and an E right here, which I'm not exactly a big fan of, but we can definitely have a couple flats or a WXY correction with inside of it. And I guess to do that, let's get the WXY XZO. There we go. So it'd be a W, the X, the Y, and the X, and the Z. Let me zoom in a little bit. So basically, that's how I would look at this guy. If we snug it up, and then this potentially could be the break of it. So that's what we do want to pay attention to. So we'd have our 3-wave connector right here for an ABC, which would mean that this move up is the start of potentially something new. Let me get this guy off. So if that is the start of something new, let me actually look at the 15-minute on that wave structure going up here. Because if it is impulsive, then we could be looking at potentially, no, looks, that's a 3-wave move up. So we would have our AB, and then that's a C. Same thing coming down, ABC. So this wave structure coming up, I do see this as a 5-wave structure coming up. So let's get back out to the larger time frame. So if we have that, then really we would be looking at it like so. So W, X, Y, X, and a Z. with another potentially an ABC connector here. So that's what we also want to be aware of. So definitely 3-wave up and definitely 3-wave down. So my other one we want to look at is if this is potentially, say, the 5th wave, which actually might make more sense. So if this was the WXYXZ right here. So let's take that guy off. So that would, sorry guys, kind of going through process of elimination here. So kind of like just an ending 5th with an expanded 3rd wave. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 4, and then another 5th right there. Which is how I would actually, that's the way I'm leaning towards now. All right, so with that being the case, that means that this would be the start of something. So I think breaking this trend line here would actually, if we can close above it with some support, which actually looks like we're about to do, we might get a little bit of a tear coming off with ETH, but we also want to make sure we're paying attention to some of the other oscillators as well, because we are getting up there. So that is one concern of mine, is we haven't really, even if we go back here to the daily, you know, we did reset a little bit. And see, where are we at? 70. So I mean, we're holding the bullish control zone, so really kind of staying within that 60 to 70 range, which is, you know, a pretty bullish sign. So we got room to go on the daily, but on the smaller time frame, we would need to come back down and reset a little bit. And you know, we can definitely do that as it establishes, you know, a wave 5 and then into a wave 4 to establish that trend line as support. So if that's the case, so let's see, that's 1, 2, this would be the 3rd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, looks good. So boom, boom, 3, 4, and then a 5th. So basically, I'd look at that as potentially a wave 1, come back down and retest the top of the channel, and then that's where we could be looking at for the start of ETH's 5th wave here. Make this basically a wave 1, a wave 2, and then 3, 4, 5 to infinity and beyond from ETH. So I need to pull and get some higher term targets, but I'm already at 17 minutes. But for a 5th wave, I would definitely be, you know, looking over the over the $2,000 mark here on ETH. Especially if that gets us over the R2 on the daily. And then 1963 is the resistance point on the daily. Weekly doesn't even matter because we're so far above it. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, looks good to me. So I would start actually looking at targeting 2246. And always want to make sure we look for a potential overextension to 3383. But that first one we got to get over is that 1977. So remember, level by level, guys, is what we're looking for. So definitely look forward to, since we're breaking that channel, to find a little bit of resistance here at that R2 around that $1,600 mark. That would be our wave 1, wave 2 support, and then take off from there. So ETH looks like it's a pretty strong count. Oh, looks like BTC is taking off a little bit too. So we were at 35.6, I think, when we started this video. So getting a little bit of a pump action. All right, let's see if we get follow through and continuation. But yeah, guys, that's my thoughts. So make sure you guys smash the like, subscribe, and make sure to enter for the free masterclass giveaway just by showing your support for my channel. Subscribe, like, and comment. Gives you a free masterclass entry for the month. So thanks, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next video.